Hello, everyone in TV land, and welcome to Focus on Liberia Daily News with me, Jeremiah Mobile. Today is Thursday, June 27, and the year is 2024. These are stories making headlines. Liberian government to shut down poor performing schools nationwide, says Deputy Minister. UMU president demand debt settlement, threatens to publish debtor's name, and African Development Fund approves 10 million boost for smallholder agriculture project in Liberia. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail plus much development. The president of the United Methodist University, Reverend Yah Donla Gonwe Gono, has issued a stand call to debtors, including current and former lawmakers and private individuals, to fulfill their financial obligations to the university. Reverend Gonwe Gono warned that the names of those who failed to settle their debts by July 6, 2024 will be made public. In a recent press conference held at the university's main campus on Ashmore Street, Reverend Gonwe Gono revealed that the university has struggled to meet payroll needs for the past 5 months due to the unpaid tuition owed by students and their sponsors. She disclosed that the debts range from 12,000 to as much as 70,000 United States dollars. Reverend Gonwe Gono disclosed that some of these people owed the university significant amounts: 12,000, 13,000, 27,000, 30,000, and 70,000 respectively. Adding to the financial screen, the UMU president pointed out that overseas partners, particularly those within the United Methodist Church, have withdrawn their support due to the global division within the church over issues of homosexuality. Calling to all pastors and members of the Liberia and the Conference of the United Methodist Church have not kept their promise to support the university, stressing that these same individuals send their children, relatives, and friends to the UMU, expecting them to receive education for free or paying tuition. She expressed her disappointment, recounting a pledge made at the 2022 annual conference in Banga, adding that despite commitments from pastors and churches to raise funds for the university, the promised support has not materialized. The Liberian Senate has instructed its Committee on Labor and Judiciary to probe the conditions of workers at Firestone rubber plantation. The Senate's investigation was triggered by Magibi County Senator Nathaniel Fallow Magel's communication, which drew senators' attention to a growing complaint by workers at the Firestone rubber plantation. Many workers are on a contract because Firestone outsources most of its farms to contractual management agreements. According to him, aggrieved workers have consistently complained about unjust labor, odd hours, without pay, and no benefits such as school and medicals for workers and their families. They have also complained about unsafe working conditions, dehumanizing labor practices by their contractual managements. The Magibi County Senator requested the indulgence of the Liberian Senate to invite the Firestone management to bring before the Senate the management of all contractual service providers on whose management these employees are working. He wants the company to provide an explanation and context on Liberian citizens' complaints. He added that when Firestone first came to the country, the Liberian people were employed and they had benefits. Later, Mangel noted Firestone could not manage the farm, so it turned it over to contractors who made Firestone workers contractors. Senator Mangel said that most of those contractors do not have guaranteed contracts. He lamented that some of the Liberian contractors who are now managing those farms employed citizens and deprived them of their benefits. The board of directors of the African Development Funds had approved an additional 10 million from the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program to implement activities and scale up the impact of the smallholder agriculture development for food and nutrition security project in Liberia. The program aims to improve food and nutrition security and reduce poverty for targeted rural populations in Liberia by increasing agricultural production and productivity of smallholder farmers with a focus on food crops such as rice, cassava, and vegetables, improve smallholders' value addition, market access, and income strengthen the capacity of government institutions, farmers, and producer organizations. Liberia has been affected by the increases in the prices of imported agricultural imports, rising energy costs, and the continuing fallout from the multiple shocks have also destabilized the fertilizer sector. The hike in fertilizer prices is causing food prices to escalate, making it mandatory for food import dependent countries such as Liberia to maximize efforts to boost local food production to avert the impact on food and nutrition security. The first financing for the project was approved in June 2021. The original project outcomes are to increase productivity of rice and cassava to 3.5 metric ton and 25 metric ton respectively. The additional funding will target around 18,260 households in addition to the existing 11,740 households and 15,000 students for the homegrown school feeding activities program. This project would also strengthen stability, crop production, and intensification by producing breeder seeds, foundations, and certified seeds for farmers cultivating several thousand hectares of land, support value addition and leading farmers and predecessors markets through the establishment of 6 post-harvest facilities for primary processing of cassava and rice with the help of 4 aggregation centers located near the processing centers. Other expected imposed from the project includes strengthening participatory farms advisory services, supporting national food safety and security, and strengthening the capacity of the Ministry of Agriculture in investment planning and implementation. The Ministry of Labor had nabbed about 310 Indian nationals employed by the Afghan a contractor for a solar method in Yekepanima County without a work permit. The latest discovery on Tuesday at the ministry site is part of the Labor Ministry's ongoing nationwide inspection exercise intended to assess the country's labor sector aimed at maintaining the integrity of Liberia's labor laws and protecting the interests of both domestic and foreign workers within the country. Darius Kwame, Deputy Labor Minister leading the nationwide labor inspection, said the Ministry of Labor's swift action is apprehending the Indian nationals, underscores the government's stance on enforcing labor regulations in the country, but holding Afghans accountable for hiring employees without valid permits. He said Liberia's aim is to send a clear message that all companies operating within its borders must adhere to the laws and respect local labor standards. Mr. Kwame told newsmen that following the investigation, the ministry imposed substantial fines of US 930,000 in accordance with the Regulation 17 of the revised Section 4B of the Labor Laws of Liberia. At the same time, the Deputy Labor Inspector General Liberia had disclosed that the management of Afghan has been mandated to pay a compulsory amount US 310,000 into the government revenue to immediately obtain work permits for their 310 workers. Section 41.18 of the 2015 Decent Work Act states an employer shall not employ foreign workers unless they possess a current work permit issued by the ministry or minister. Mr. Kwame noted that it was surprising to discover that Afghan had hired a large number of Indian workers who were all obtaining the necessary work permits from the Liberian government, adding that this violation not only contravenes local labor regulations but also raises concern about compliance with immigration laws designed to safeguard employment opportunities for Liberian citizens. Meanwhile, Liberia, like other countries, requires foreign nationals to obtain work permits before they can be legally employed within the jurisdiction. These permits are intended to regulate the influx of foreign workers and to ensure that job opportunities are prioritized for local residents, thus contributing to the country's economic development and stability. And the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, has announced plans to shut down poorly performing schools across the country. Deputy Minister for Instructions, Abel Foley, made this announcement in Gandanima County, stating that many schools are not offering quality education and do not meet operational requirements. He cited the continued poor performance of students in public exams as evidence, noting that many private and faith-based schools have not been performing well in these tests for years but still continue to operate. Multiple data sources showed that Liberia is facing a learning crisis. According to the 2021-2022 annual school census report, the primary school completion rate was 10% for boys and 11% for girls. The World Bank and UNESCO Institute of Statistics reported that the lower secondary completion rate in 2017 was 46% for boys and 42% for girls. According to the World Bank, Liberia faces a major development hurdle due to its low human capacity or capital. Limited access to education represents a significant obstacle to efforts and to reduce poverty and build human capacity. As part of measures to ensure that schools meet standards, Deputy Minister Ford announced that licenses will be awarded to teachers across the country. This announcement was made during a 5-day workshop in Ghana aimed at strengthening education stakeholders in both the private and public sector. He acknowledged that teachers abandoning classes for non-governmental organization jobs is impeding students' learning. Furthermore, for the accused, government employed teachers of exacerbating problems in the education sector by creating a large number of volunteer teachers who flood classrooms. He warned them to stop bringing volunteer teachers into the education sector. Deputy Minister Ford told reporters that there are more volunteer teachers compared to government trained teachers in various schools across the country. He contrasted this with the health sector, which administers public tests before employment, whereas in education, unqualified individuals are often found posing as teachers, expressing disappointment and frustration during recent tours across the country. Foley said that many public schools have reportedly misused USAID and other development partners' funding intended to benefit students. He did not give detail on how these monies were misused. However, he highlighted issues such as lack of essential materials like chairs, poor learning environments, and inadequate water and sanitation facilities. To end the news, here once again, I the headlines. Liberian government to shut down poor performing schools nationwide, says Deputy Minister. UMU President demands debt settlement, threatens to publish debtors' names. And African Development Funds approves 10 million boosts for smallholder agriculture project in Liberia. That's focused on Liberia daily news. I am Jeremiah Mola. Thanks for watching and share our